Hey there, everybody, and welcome to Girlfriend Quest. I'm your host with the mostest, Alexis Sarah, and I am joined, as always, by just me when I'm doing these kind of videos because I am discussing what Fire Emblem Three Houses Brave Hero alts there could be, because the banner's all Fire Emblem Three Houses, which means they have an opportunity to do in-game themes. Of course, they could do out-of-game themes. I'm going to talk about a couple of things. We will see. I thought it looked like I was like drinking, but I was just drink water because I don't really drink anything else except Coca-Cola. I drink Coke, you know. So I think that you have two kind of boring options as possible Brave vaults. We could do the well, I think one's less boring than the other. We could just do your time skip final class. We could just do that for all the characters. All of them have a new design that isn't in the game yet. I can just put it in there and just be like, here you go. Here's Edelgard, third class. Here's Dimitri, third personal class. Here's Claude, third personal class. Enjoy. And I think that would be super boring. And then obviously you just do like this, yeah, like as a Cheromancy, or just put her in a time skip design and not even change anything. And it could definitely do it, but I think those would be better as legendary heroes. I don't know. Or like alts on banners, or you know, I really don't think, and they count them as different games, so that means that would just be putting like the version of the characters. If they put like the default costumes, if they put the final class, then maybe it would be a little bit different because you'd have a slightly different design than what's in like the pictures. You could also do like what they did in the last banner, which is like them when they're ruling their kingdom. So like each of them in an AU where they're in charge, except for Lysithea, again, who doesn't really fit that theme. So you would probably put her in the post game of one of the three's marriage with her, which I don't know who you would pick, and I don't know how you would distinguish them. But I think she could marry Dimitri and Claude and Edelgard. So, you know, Lysithea gets around with the most important people. So, you know, I don't know. You know, she could just have a bridal alt right there in a Brave banner and be like, wow, Claude, Dimitri, and Edelgard are so hot. You know, I wouldn't mind because then it would make her canon by like textually. That would be pretty nifty. But you know, those are the most boring ideas I could think of. Those are also very likely because they don't have to try very hard on this banner because they're all in the same game and therefore they don't have like to like right because they're all themed. They would have to normally put those three characters, the three lords inside a theme, and like make sure that they give them equal representation. But now they can just do it in one banner, and not worry about it, which they could have done before. They could have just done a normal time skip banner with female Byleth again, but now she's got the green hair, and it'd be good. They'd be done. Yeah. Now here's a fun. Now I'm gonna go to fun ideas because I think those are the more fun things, and I hope that that's what they consider doing. I hope they're doing something fun, right? Because they don't have to be the normal versions. They're brave heroes. I don't think there's any rule that brave heroes even have to be stuck in their canon. Even though all of them generally are set post their game, or presumably post their game. I think Brave Ike is kind of in like the middle of like before Radiant Dawn, but after Path of Radiance. So, you know, I don't know. But retainer swap, I think is a fun idea. So basically, Edelgard would be using a blue tome from Hubert. Dimitri would be using a colorless dagger from Dedu. And I would use a dagger instead of melee, basically, because, you know, that would be his specialty, but that's not in the game. So I think that a colorless dagger would be good, and it would also finally give us a colorless brave hero that's a male character. And then Claude gets an axe from Hilda, and Lysithea gets a sword from Catherine. Because she doesn't have a retainer, so I was just thinking, she has a legendary sword she could use, and that would probably not be her main ult. So I think that works. I think Lysithea throws things off if it was just like Byleth in that spot, you could just go like, okay, Byleth gets all the Rhea shit. But Lethithia is not necessarily loyal to the church, so I don't know. Now we could do leader swap, which would be basically they swap with each other with a different leader. So Edelgard would get a colorless bow from Claude. And the idea behind doing that is that Claude's goals and Edelgard's goals are kind of like line up, and she represents herself as kind of like a liberator, and Claude is like more of like liberation, where Dimitri is more revenge. So I think that it's like more like the aesthetics of her thing, even though there is an aspect of revenge inside her things as well. And I think the axe kind of fits the revenge outlook of the way that Dimitri sees Edelgard. So, right, it's kind of like he thinks of himself as like a bloodthirsty beast, and therefore he also thinks of Edelgard as a bloodthirsty beast, so him getting the axe would make the most sense. And I think that Claude kind of sees Dimitri as like a noble person, and therefore like having the lance would make sense from him. And I think that those three swapping with each other, and then Lysithea again, I think I could just give her the sword from Byleth, right? She'd get a leader's item. Now authority figure swap would be basically they take a weapon from someone that they respect a lot. And basically to do this, I went with Edelgard getting Byleth's sword, and I really would love, honestly, this is one of my favorite ideas for Edelgard, personally, not necessarily for the whole set, but I think Edelgard getting the Sword of the Creator would be amazing, because she could wield it, but not in the game, but she could technically wield it. And I think that was a missed opportunity that they didn't explore that as a possibility in one of the alternate routes or something. Like, it would be cool if when you picked if you went with the church route, you lost Sword of the Creator and Edelgard had it, and you had to just pick up a different legendary weapon, like the Sword of Saros or something. I think that would have been really cool, but they didn't do that, so because they're lazy. Okay. Then I think that Dimitri could have a staff from Rhea, because in Edelgard's en route, Dimitri is protecting Rhea the whole time and stuff. So I think that Dimitri has a lot of respect for Rhea, and that it would make perfect sense. Like, I mean, even when he wins his route, he's like, okay, the church is going to be reformed, but not go away. Which he's like the only one who really has that kind of position. So I think that he would be fitting for having the staff. Fucking cop. And then Claude could have an axe from Nadar. Or Nadar. Because, he looks up to Nadar and he's with him in like every route that he gets to show up. Nadar is usually there helping him out. So it would make perfect sense. And then Lysithea, I had to think about this. I'm like, because again, she's not a main lord. I think Hanneman, having a blue tome from Hanneman would make sense. And I think Hanneman's one of the characters that are the least likely to get into the game. I think that Hanneman if he was there, he would be there for gender ratios, like on a teacher banner, just to gender ratio it. But I think it'd be more likely that we get Alois and Geralt than we get Hanneman. Gilbert, fucking Thomas. I think that like a character that we didn't even get to use. I think there's a lot of male teachers, and I think that Hanneman's on the very bottom of that list for intelligence systems, because he's not hot. And you put in the hotter characters first. Okay, then this is an idea that I would love. These last two ideas are two ideas I would fucking love. These are the ideas I'd want the most. But I don't think they're going to happen. But we could get them. It could be the Fallen Hero banner, and that could come up before I fucking upload for this one. Those who slither in the dark versions of the characters, I think that would be really cool. Obviously, Edelgard and Lysithea have big connections to those who slither in the dark, and Dimitri and Claude have less so, but they are opposed to those who slither in the dark as well. So, and that could give us a perfect chance to get Hegemon Edelgard in as a colorless beast, which would be awesome, right? You have her as colorless armor beast, and you have her like really strong, and like she is in the boss fight in the Blue Lion's Path. Then Dimitri, I think that you could have like a cool like twisted green dagger version of him with like the dagger that was in the backstory of his character, and him like mad with revenge or something, but like in a different way, and like the twist pale skin and black marks and stuff. And then you get like a sword Claude, because like normally he wouldn't like wield a sword. That's like not really his style. He's not like that kind of fancy noble. So I think it kind of like would show like a betrayal of his own character to be wielding a sword. And then Lysithea as a blue bow to finish off the rotation, because she's not like very physically strong. But I think like turning her to a more physical person but still ranged would be pretty cool. And blue, because that's the color that's missing. And then Beast AE, which I think would be the most fun idea, like just for me personally, because I think Beast units are really cool. I love Beast units, but there's not a lot left. We have like Lethe Sister, Trans Girl Tiger, Lion Sun, Hawks, that's something I should have prepared if I was going to talk about it. One more Heron. That might be all of them that are in the Tellius games. And then we have no more from Fates and Awakening, except if we did Morgan alts that were Tengu, or Kana alts that were Beast race, which we could do. And they would have two different potential Beast race there, and then they would just have Tengu for Morgans. And of course, you could do alts of basically any character that could marry Panny as Tengu, and just say like, it doesn't work like that in the game, but it works like it here. But you know, you don't have a ton of alt possibility. So I think, what if we just did a Beast AU? What if we just did a fucking Beast AU for the house leaders and Lysithea? Because they all are named after animals, and with the exception of Claude house, they're already animals that exist in the game as like a race that you could use. I mean, hawks aren't eagles, but like, and crows aren't eagles, ravens aren't eagles, but a black eagle is a like a raven plus a hawk, like, you know, kind of. So I think she would be a good red flyer. You know, you get her with some cool wings and shit. She would look fucking awesome. That would be an awesome alt that would sell a lot, I think. Then Dimitri as like a blue armor beast, who's like, you know, a lion. Like Kanagas was a lion, and he was an armor unit. So I think having him be, you know, a blue lion, very cool. And then I think Claude would be a cavalry beast, a green cavalry beast, and green because like nature is like associated with deers and stuff, and green is the color of nature in people's eyes. So I think that is a perfect fit. Even though, right, it's the golden deer. Gold isn't a color in this game, so I'm just gonna have to work with what you got. And then Lysithea is a colorless infantry beast or dragon. I don't really know. I think if you make her a beast, she'd probably have to be another deer, right? Or you can make her a snack for those slither in the dark. I think dragon works just to represent Saros, like the last house. Or I mean, you could do a wolf, but she's not an ashen wolf. But you could do it. You could just give her in the Nyla class, make her a colorless wolf, and give her the Nyla abilities. I mean, there's only going to be one more wolf in the game, Volk, if they don't do alts of Nyla and Zolg. There's only two wolves in the series, so no, because they had Keaton and his daughter, or not Keaton, the other one. It doesn't matter. They're wolves, but they're like werewolves. They're not like the small little wolfies that Nyla is. So yeah, anyway, those are all the ideas I think are really cool. I think in order of what I would want, let's go with the version I want of each character the most. I want Sword of the Creator Edelgard most, I think. And that would, suck because more sword units means I have to choose between more sword units. There's so many good sword units, but I think that would be the most interesting. But I wouldn't mind Hegemon or Beast. I think those are the coolest ideas, but I wouldn't really want the other options for her. Except if it's like a retired Edelgard in flannel, like with an "I love my wife" shirt under it. Like if the post retainer version of all of them was them retired with a picture of Byleth on their shirt, like talk to me about my wife. That would be pretty funny, and I would love it, and I wouldn't care how good they are. I would get all of them, including the boy characters I wouldn't use, because it would be funny. Or if it was like, talk to me about my husband for the boys. If they just made it really gay, I would have to stand. I would have to stand. I would have no choice. I think for Dimitri, I think like the most fun would be having him have Nadar's weapon. Like again thematically, but I really would love to see him as a deer. I think that would be a really cool beast unit. I think that would be what I want to see the most. I think for Dimitri, I'd like to see him with like a colorless dagger. I'd like to see him represent Didu because they have a really tight relationship the whole game. So I'd love to see him kind of represent that. And for Lysithea, I think the most fun thing you could do is give her like, I mean, I'd love to see those still in the dark version of her the most, I think. Because I think Catherine Sword is the most thematic, probably like into the games, like what could work from the game series. But I also think that could just be an alt, like a normal alt on a banner. You know what I mean? Like that you wouldn't need a special occasion to give her a sort of turn. It could just be her next version. But yeah, and plus Catherine's not even in the game yet. So yeah, that's my thoughts on what Brave Hero alts could end up looking like for this next Brave Heroes banner. Future Legend. I mean, I personally don't mind that they're all three houses characters. You could maybe do some more fun things if they weren't. But it would have made it equally hard if Erica had won or Lysithea, right? Because these three were going to win. There was no point in delaying it. Yeah. So if you like this video, hit like, then hit subscribe, then hit the bell, then leave a comment below to increase engagement. Start a fight in the comments. You know, that's people don't start enough fights in the comments on YouTube videos, but that is great for engagement. Why don't you just like question each other's humanity and start fighting each other? I'm not saying that that's a healthy thing to do, but I am saying that starting a fight is fun and good. Anyway, if you liked it, you can also check. If you liked me, you can check me out at Transcomics. You can watch me and my girlfriend Tracy stream Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn live and other games at Girlfriend Quest at Twitch. So thank you so very, very much for watching. Love y'all. Bye bye.